Hello and welcome. This is the tips and tricks for the vampire counts. I will give you a few tips for the vampire counts as a faction first, since they are a little bit different than everyone else. Then I will give you tips and tricks for every legendary lord start. Vlad and Isabella is gonna be as well, because they are pretty much the same. However, I will start by saying research. All the vampires have the same in the research tree. How I like to go for, especially as anyone here, you want to go to Blood is Power first for the extra growth, and the income is not that important because you already have amazing income. The reason why I want to rush this line is, first of all, Blood gives them growth, really good. Second, you get more income on your best, one of the best income buildings in this game in my opinion. Then third, you get more growth. This will lead you to have like a turn-free bloodline, which is where we're gonna go first with the tips. It depends on who you are, and I will say which faction you go for. I would say a different one, but in usual cases, you go for Necrarch. Uh, Reason being is because the research rate is amazing early game. It will make you boost up to get this quicker, as you will get it one turn earlier or two. It's amazing. Then afterwards, you need to rush down the Book of Arcane. Unless specified otherwise, and I will get to that later. The Book of Arcane will give you a lot of stuff. You definitely want the File of Ancient Barrows for the Perfect Vigor, one of the best traits for your skeletons, and just more raised for skeletons. And you know, all of these are really good. Recruitment cost, raised dead cost for them, reduction on upkeep, and more armor, more strength, more melee defense, and that's not a little. Um, then more melee attack, and it's just gonna buff all the units you're gonna bring in a usual stand. So you wanna rush here and get here, unless specified otherwise. We're gonna get that to later. Now, as a Manfred, you're gonna have two things. You're going to have an insanely annoying start, and two, you have a big player trap. The Books of Nagash system, as I said to when you played as Volkmar, which is right next to you, is like it is strong buffs. But the thing is, this is a late game thing. Once again, do not go for these early. Like, you won't get any benefits for trying to rush them. Use them as a late game, do not go for them early. Even though the random army will just appear in your zone, don't rush it. It won't attack you or anything. That is the only rogue army that won't do anything. Now, second thing. You are surrounded by very strong foes. Volkmar is a little bit of annoying, because Empire units usually have really strong things, and as Manfred, you don't have the strongest army in the beginning. Then you have Tomb Kings, which is not that big of a deal in battle. They have just a lot more, how do I say it? A lot more shooting than you have, which is the only annoyance and big things. That is the two annoyance thing from them. Then you will have dwarves, and Thorek is nobody you want to mess with. Usually dwarves have weaknesses and such. However, your whole strength as a vampire is casting spell. Thorek of all the dwarves is the one that says fuck your casting. Do not fight them early unless you can. What else? Really good shooting. Gonna be strong. You're gonna get Scarbrand later on because he is gonna attack Cambry very quickly. So you're gonna replace a evil by another evil. Warzek in the down south, which is gonna fight Talakwa, so you're gonna fight either Tic-Tac-Toe or Warzek. Then there's a slight possibility for Krokar to go over to you. The only ally you have... Oh, and by the way, you have Wapons here as well. The only potential ally you have is Arkan. And he is a great ally, don't get me wrong. It's just that he won't be able to do much. So, what is your strength as Manfred? You can ignore the first two things here. You start with one additional blood kiss, that's neat. He has more research rates, that is the best thing. And, you know, a little bit more friends with vampiric factions and such. Oh, but then I can be friends with him. Oh, he has one, like, settlement, he won't do anything. This is just to try to have an additional ally in case you want to do something. But yeah, it's that. His battle trait, Dark Acolyte, which, yeah, he buffs Graveguard and Black Knights, and he gets massive Black Arts. The big benefit with Manfred is that you get two lores. You get both the the vampire lore. You get also the death lore, which is amazing. However, here's the negative thing. He doesn't really have a super specialized how do I say it? Super specialized trait is the tree line, like every lord has. What he has instead is that you have already some of his death spells, and yeah, you can get them very early on compared to the others. Lord has death, and that's like cool. He's a really good melee combatant with the zombie dragon later on, and he is really strong with spell casting. So he's just an all-rounder melee and caster later on. So he's gonna be super powerful. He doesn't buff any particular units with skill line. All he has is like buffing up more stuff. He's kind of like selfish in that area, and you should build him as such. Going with this, potentially going up with the Children of the Night and Undying Horde, depending on your situation, and then just full boost him. There's no point of upgrading here on the red line unless it's going on in the later game, because he is gonna be your greatest assets. Same thing with items, he buffs himself a lot more. As said, like here he gets regen one time, like it's basically a health potion, wound recovery time, ward save, armor, and so on and so forth, and this one helps him with more magic. He is a really strong combatant. The thing is, as vampires, you have to use Raise Dead. I'd say of everyone, he's the one that does not benefit this a lot, because as I said, he just focuses on himself. You don't have any buffs here, unless you get Necromancers, which get some buffs. You have a legendary hero, technically. He can only be wounded, and he's actually pretty great. He gives you more research and upkeep, and yeah, he just does not die. It's nice. Yeah, your whole thing is just gonna be take over this, fight Voltvar in the beginning. My recommendation is take over Bagar, make a second army that focuses on to recruiting a little bit more. Take Bagar, use the Raise Dead, you go to Antok, and then with these two armies, you have to go to the zone here for his second settlement. When you have gone there to take a second settlement, at this point you had at least potential chance of getting 3 big Raise Deads, so you should have 2 armies. That is the only time you have enough to strike him down. As I said, main army is not strong. Black Knights is decent. They're really good at killing infantry, but they are not the best at doing so. Technically, they have how much melee? Yeah, so they will have 42, 36. Pretty decent, as I said, but he has halberds and shooting things. They're really good against his flagellants, not gonna lie. So use them against that. Use the Graveguard to kill the halberds, even though it's just 32 in melee attack. It's not that great.
I'll take
Manfred needs to deal damage and so forth. So that is what you're gonna need to do. Take that down, and then you have to be very reactive. Is Khemri and Skarbrand acting from the north, then you have to go back to your main settlement to prepare for that, because Khemri is often going to declare war on you, and Skarbrand is gonna declare war later on Khemri. Okay, then you have to focus on the north. Is nothing happening there, and Telaqua and Werzeg is brawling it out done, and they're coming after you. You have to prepare to go here and go toward them. Then Kairos in the later game will come up. This is a very reactive campaign, so it's hard to give tips. The only thing I can say as a tip really is in the early stages, use as much recruitment and such as possible. After the first of Necroc, I would say go for Von Karstein. Why Von Karstein? Because you get the crossbowmen and more replenishments. You're gonna have a lot of fights, the replenishment is gonna help, the control is gonna help, and more instant recruitment units is going to help a lot too. Also, the Von Karstein is very good. Also, you can summon Wargulf, which is gonna be needed when you're gonna fight the dwarves. So he's really good. If you want to go my way, it's always Necroc first with this one. Get 2 in here, and then a Strigoi. Strigoi because Strigoi is just really powerful, melee brawling. Also, when you're doing your second army, don't do a Master Necromancer. He is the cheapest, and you're gonna struggle with your money very early game because you need to make so much units. But you are gonna want a Strigoi. It's not the best at doing damage, or it's not the best at casting, but you want to rush out to get command of the Unliving, so you can get some criticals and just a big beast, because he has poison attack with 75 attack, 50 melee defense, and high armor piercing damage. So you just want the damage. The Vampire Lord is also really good as usual, but it's just gonna focus on basically Leicester spells. You want the Spirit Leech, healing, and the command of the living, and potentially Soul Blight. So yeah, that's my best way to say how to deal with Volkmar, and really your reactive gameplay is going to be very restrictive. It is a very challenging campaign because of it, but that's all I can say. Going on to the next one. And the second lord we will talk about is Heinrich Kammler.
Very tempting.
He's very, very different compared to the others. First of all, you're gonna start with 2 zones to go to. So you definitely, or 3 zones, so you definitely want to do this. You of course add the Necromancer to go here. You do this. You fight here. Whatever, you can fight the fight or not. It's just a very simple way to show the very easiest thing for you to do. This, you could possibly just do that to invite them in if they are worst. Remove this zombie unit. Reality of things, like we should have done it at the beginning. Have this guy in. Should have had it in the beginning. Whatever. You just go here. Auto resolve or fight. Tada, you have 20 stack immediately, and you're going to be able to steamroll early. And you can make a second army here to recruit the rest, like from your capital here. The thing is though, I just showed you a really good way to get a Heinrich Kammler stack very early. However, I will teach you the worst thing and the best things you need to be aware for this campaign. Now, as I said, first of all, technology. I think still Blood is Power is the correct choice to go for there. But afterwards, you definitely need to go for this line here. Go down here. Reason? He does a lot of spirit units, so that barrier is going to be insane. The healing cap is going to be insane. I'm going to show you soon why. Then it's going to be the buffs. It's just buffs and upkeep and whatever, right? Also, the death rises again and attrition is nice, so yay. The thing is, Heinrich Kammler focuses on Ghost. Does not say in here, because hey, he has something else we're going to talk about. Does not say in his items, I don't think. No, not really. Just buffs and so on and so forth. But it is in the special skill line. Something that still Manfred does not have. It is after this, you upgrade Krell. Krell is gonna be stronger, uh, and let's talk about him. In Heinrich Kammler campaign battles, you are not alone. I don't think it's like, I think you summon him in normal battle as well, but you do not pay for only Heinrich Kammler, which is an amazing spellcaster, and yeah, buffs a lot of ghost units, as we're gonna see here. For example, Horrible Regeneration for Hexwraiths and such with more skill level, and otherwise they have, or you get that, but yeah, so that means they're gonna have regeneration, and whenever they are dying, um, they're gonna rest. It is essentially a regen that rests, and that's gonna be amazing for all of these units. And you know, he gained more White Kings, which is nice. More loot and more campaign movement. And hey, look at that. Devastating Flanker. Double discharge bonus for these guys, and more bonus with infantry. And then he's just gonna focus on magic. So he's a really good caster. However, you may think, well, I am lacking in the fighting position. What am I gonna do if Lord is just having their way? Because 80% of the times in your campaigns is, even though you might have a really strong army with vampires, but your struggle is with single entities or long range stuff. To deal with single entities, you need a good melee boy like Vlad, Manfred, etc. to deal with them. Well, don't worry, my friend. Heinrich does not need to deal with it. He just summons Krell. And Krell is a big armor piercing boy that's just gonna slap. And this one, this upgrade at level 12, his abilities is gonna become way stronger, and he does not degrade. So you summon up a random and White King with high armor piercing is just gonna slap everything. So you do not need to worry. You can summon him at level 1, but he will degrade over time. Oh no, he will not. Okay, wait, what's the difference then? Ah, okay, he just gets stronger. Yeah, but he's still very useful. And you buff your magic by quite a bit. And you're the best, um, I would say you are the best Lore Vampires caster. You basically focus on buffing your units. So you have a lot of Van Hell's upgrades and such in your items, like this one. Skull Staff, you upgrade it. And it's a pretty good upgrade. So yeah, that is your goal with him. Just Ghost and so on and so forth. You start with 2 Ghost units, that's fine. So yeah, when it comes to research, this is important. First of all, of course, up here, you go down here. And in Bloodlines, with him, you do not actually want to go with Von Karstein early on, unless you feel like you need to, which is fine. We don't want to go for Strigoi, because the ambush is whatever. Lamian is okay, but I don't think it's the most beneficial for you. It should be either full Necroc. I would always go full on Necroc here. And afterwards, going with Blood Dragon, at least one, so you can get the Hexwraith buff, you can get the more experience later, and Blood Knights is a possibility. It's not something you buff, but hey, they are good. Because Necroc, as I said, upkeep, more winter magic, and research rates, that's just perfect for Heinrich. And it's not that bad. And you also get a lot of White King early on, like after level 13, 14. So they will just go around and assassinate for you to get more blood kisses, which is what I recommend. I believe they have. Um, sorry, let me check. Because they have assassinate. There's wounding. I don't think that works then. Kill in battle. Character assassinate. Yeah, okay. Wounding does not work then. So they cannot do that. But you still focus on getting these units anyways here. So you will get a bunch of Banshees to do so. And yeah, you can get it that way. So your main focus is just to destroy the Bretonnia. You will have Vampire later, and there's a potential ally within Grom and even the Red Duke. Your main enemy that you're gonna have to deal with is Luen, although he will be besieged by Be'lakor, and Be'lakor will be an ally because, or can be an ally because you have diplomatic relationship with demons and chaos in general. So hey, nice. Also, like everyone else plays vampires, just spam necromancers in your army. They will give you a lot of magic and just so much power, summoning, healing, and so on and so forth. That is the way to go with Heinrich. That is my main point. You go here, you take this down. You will have a army here to recruit real quick. Go deal with the dwarves.
wisdom of
Because, hey,
Valea.
you just get a massive necromancer. Oh, look at that. We have 2 units there. You recruit 3 skeletons, let's say, or maybe bats because hey, you kind of want to get onto the archers. Okay, neat. Next turn, you just go down here. Rest, go back, rest, and recruit. Then you move forward here, and you should be able to fight that. Not immediately, maybe you need to recruit, like, sometimes be aware, just recruit another Strigoi, could be really good to do so. Well, Heinrich is leading Artois. After that though, you will have 3 options. Either go to Montfort and Castle Bastogne to defeat them, help the Red Duke to become his to try to confederate a strong vampire lord, or helping him will also need to destroy Luen, which is already a tough task in itself, or try to fight the Empire, which you do 80% of the next campaign, so don't worry if you have played that one, you have training against it. But yeah, this is my 3 ways. I usually tend to go with one. I usually go to Castle Artois, kill that, Bastogne, Montfort, and then try to be friends with Grom, take down Aquitaine, then move up here to help Red Duke. If you're fast enough, Red Duke should be alive, and you have 2 stacks armies just going around, slaughtering everything, because obviously this army, when it has taken Caxiflin, which is not going to be super easy, because he's going to get Dwarf Warriors, Miners, and Great Weapons. He won't be able to recruit, I believe. Yeah, he won't recruit any shooting boys after. But yeah, it's not an easy battle. After you've done that, you just go to Montfort. You take down this easily. You push to Aquitaine, trade settlement with Grom, be friends, move up here, maybe get a confederation, take down here Coron. You can easily get friends with Be'lakor. Yep, that's usually how I do it. Of course, you will have problems with Marienburg. That just does not like you, obviously. They can send an army or 2. Just be aware. And of course, Karl Franz will declare war on you after he has dealt with the northern problems. Often, then he will just go to war at you immediately. Sometimes I've seen him just attack you right away, and yeah, you have to be aware. I usually play on legendary difficulties or very hard, so this is what can happen when you play these difficulties. And yeah, we're going down to the next one, I think. Now we're going down to my favorite campaign, and it's gonna be Vlad. So, Vlad is the easiest one in technicalities of things of all the vampire counts, at least campaign side, and I would say battle is the last one. We'll get to that later. So, as we said, topology first. Still, Bloody's power is amazing. After that though, I think you should just buff all your units in Book of Arcane, hopefully all the skeletons, and then down here. If you want to, because there is a potentially for a really strong early game with wolves and bats and such, you can rush here with the bestiary line. But I would always say, blood for power, go for the skeleton upgrades, because they're gonna help you. Then, of course, you put these 2 in here.
By all means.
Do this. Because hey, 15 stack army already. I would say always go here, here, take this down, upgrade as much growth as possible afterwards. Actually, you can even do just this. There we go, early growth. Take this for more growth. This is gonna be boom, boom. And yes, I show you because I'm very used to this. This is my main faction.
Yes.
And this is where I'm the most comfortable with, whatever. We just Alpha Resolve here as well, because you don't need to care. Occupy, hey, growth building, look at that. And now,
Champion of the dark.
recruit, I just say 2 spears. And done. That is your first turn in a nutshell. However, the thing is that you have to be aware for 2 things, 1 player trap and 1 other thing. Then it's just what your strength and weaknesses are. Be aware that you are hated everywhere. No matter what, the dwarves will declare war on you. Carcadrin will declare war on you in the end of things. So will all the Empire factions and maybe Draika. And Azag will as well. Okay, fair enough. Everyone hates you around you. What's new? But one thing that is in player trap: don't attack Empire as soon as possible. My opinion is to just take these over, just take all this land, make a secondary army after turn 1, because you will move forward to Waldenhof, then Castle Tempelhof, up to you. Usually say Castle Tempelhof, then Waldenhof last. I'll tell you why. You'll have a second army here. I would say honest to be a vampire lord, because they will have at least, like, of course everyone can have this army, but vampire lord because they have the armor for what we're gonna deal with. So yeah, you recruit this, Tempelhof, raise dead, you're probably gonna have a full stack, go for 4 Robuster, Waldenhof, and then you retreat back here. You should have a half army here. You should just attack and siege Sufbar. This is going to be a difficult battle. This is the make or break thing about the whole campaign. Take Sufbar, kill everything, take this settlement, take the whole province. Afterwards, yeah, the dwarves will hate you more. But Carcadrin is usually in a rough shape with the goblins. And then it's gonna be with Scar's Link, so he won't deal with you until like turn 70, no matter what. Can happen that he just does it anyway because AI. Then you go to war with the Empire. Reason? First of all, you have a nice now extra buffer in case he wanna attack you from the side here to attack Castle Dragonhof and such. Also give you additional sites to the pest called Skrag if he decides to go up here, which he usually do. Then of course you like buffer, you get everything right. What is so strong with your faction though? Well, I don't need to say anything. Vlad is the GOAT. He has 1 annoying quest battle that is pretty difficult. However, hey, look at that, more healing cap when Isabella is here, because you get a free legendary hero. And same thing if you play Isabella, and I will give you the benefits of having each one soon. And you also get full Vanguard deployment, which is insanely strong against fighting any Empire or Dwarves, in case you have the numbers. You just want to overrun, kill all the archers, overrun their infantry. The cav is going to be the most annoying thing with this, and yeah, done. The thing is though, with Vlad, is that he is insanely strong. Because not only does he gonna have the hunger, which heals whenever he's in melee, that's really good, because you're gonna take this. Then you're also gonna have your items. Blood Drinker, which heals you, yeah, you're gonna heal 0.3 per second. That's gonna be insane. You're gonna get magical attacks, so fuck their physical resistance if they have. Um, whatever, 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 and hey, more loot needs. The annoying quest battle is the Karstein Ring. If you want my tip on it, use your vampire lords and your vampire heroes and Vlad to basically try to assassinate the lord. Um, and Mortis Engine, then use the rest of your army to deal with the rest. It can be rough, but it is important. Because the Von Karstein ring is going to give you damage resistance plus 60 whenever you use it, and it's not long cooldown. Physical resistance, and whenever he dies, he just comes back like almost instantly. With skills, you kind of want to go with the Hunger, Restless, Dead, just to keep himself alive. Then you want to go blue line to get Immortal Horror, so you get less recovery time. Because when you have this and the Karstein ring, which you can unlock at level 12. You're just gonna rest back like 2 turns in, or the turn after he is dead, right? That's really strong. Then you want to go full on the lightning strike, because you're gonna fight a lot of vampire armies, and it's not gonna be nice if they surround you with multiple armies, because you're gonna have a problem, and we're gonna talk about it later. And then just one skill in here to get uncanny prescience, because you're gonna want the not the upkeep. The campaign movements is nice, raise that cost is nice, but it is the Winds of Magic reserve minimum. Because there's so many things that will just make you have, fuck you, you only have X amount of Winds of Magic, or even just things that are just gonna make it annoying. So having it at minimum, always at 15, is going to be a lifesaver, because your faction is casting spells as the main thing. Now, this is what you want to opt for if you play Vlad. Whether you're opting for Isabella and for your Vampire of Shadow. Well, Isabella,
I am Vlad.
I usually go for the Hunger first, then Scouting, just for the little extra item chance. And with Isabella, I try to get up Winds of Death as soon as possible. And then you're gonna get her upgrades here. Which, by the way,
All shall know
Vlad's
me
is
and
his
tremble.
movement, XP, upgrades his debuffs on enemies, and more relationship with Vampire, which is nice because that doesn't mean everyone will go to war with you immediately. And then, hey, you have flyers, I don't like them. And then more Sundering Armor and such. Isabella focuses
Devourer
on
of
beast
light.
upgrades and also buffing as well. Also more vampires, whatever. But yeah, you want to go with getting up the Winds of Death, so you have that already unlocked. Now with this one, you want to, in my opinion, to get up a Pit of Shades. It's not because of it's going to be useful against the Empire or Dwarves, it's going to be because of your quest battle with the Von Karstein ring. It's that and Replenish Troops. Replenish Troop first is really nice, and done. Now, what is the threats in your campaign? It's not the dwarves. The dwarves will easily be dealt with. Of course, later game with Ungrim can be annoying, because Ungrim, and it can be annoying with Draika. But your threat is Elspeth. She will beeline essentially here, right? She will come here at turn 20 or less. You will need to prepare that she already has a dragon. What is the best to deal with that? Well, it's gonna be Isabella, because she's gonna have her mount, flying mount. She is also going to have her magic, a very upgraded version of Lord of Death. Really good ranged units, so that's why I opt for Vlad, because the different lord traits between Vlad and Isabella, which we're gonna get to soon. Yeah, you are going to need to deal with a lot of shooting and a lot of single entity damage from Elspeth. So you will need to have the items, and you need Vlad to just tank and just not dying and deal as much damage as possible, or soak shots. Or otherwise you can use Isabella and the other vampire to dodge shots. Done. Um, you do have the Blood Knights, which are amazing, and they're going to deal a lot of damage to anything that is needed. Like their cavalry. If they have cavalry, the Blood Knights are going to deal with it, and if they do not have cavalry and go for just a lot of shooting things, well, Blood Knights and the rest is going to just deal with it. Trap is the Black Coach. I don't think it's that good. It is a chariot. It is a decent chariot. I would not say it's good. To get this thing go online, you need to have kills going on. It needs to be nearby to get the damage resistance, the armor piercing and such, and even the vigor. It's just going to not be as useful. If you're really good with chariots, go ahead, use this thing. If not, just be aware that this is not the best. Of course, it's gonna plow through infantry very early on in these fights here, and the Empire, and it's gonna be very useful against dwarves because you're going to need it there. It's still not the best later on when you have to deal with Elspeth. I would prefer having a dire wolf to shoot them, archers down, and so on and so forth. So just letting you know, this might to disband this. If not, it's up to you. But yeah, you want to take this, then immediately focus on Stirland, and then focus on Elspeth. And Avaland, of course. That is essentially what you have to do. Now, if you opt for going with Isabella, the thing is, whatever character you go for, the other Legendary Lord is going to have all the items. So what's going to happen is that with Isabella in that case, you want to go with full-on, like,
bow before me.
Red and blue line. Because Vlad in that case is just gonna go full on melee beast, because then he can just hold the line forever and just not die, because he's just gonna start off with these two, and that's gonna be amazing. Isabella, however, start with the Blood Chalice of Bafuri, which is, hey, more forward save, whatever, recovery time for all characters, that's neat. And she's also gonna have the Blood Chalice of Bafuri, which is, hey, she's just has a one amazing heal every time, and even though it cannot heal any longer, it's really good because it removes vigor. So she's just gonna be amazing with that. Healing and supporting and spell casting, that's what I want her opt for. She also has the Hellsteed for later on, so she can fly when she gets this. So that is important. Of course, your vampire can also get these mounts, the Hellsteeds. But if you go with her, I'd say 80% of the time you wanna rush this landmark. Because she gets 2+ capacity already for vampires, which means your vampire stuff is gonna be 5 vampires, so you can have 5 additional vampires in the start, essentially. Because you can have Vlad, Isabella, the Rinder vampire, and then 3 additional, maybe 6 even, vampires, and then you can just do whatever. Same route as before. Just less infantry, more vampire power. So that is how you play as Isabella and Vlad, in my opinion. They still have the same campaign start, you wanna destroy everything, it's just building a thing, and how you play in battle. Going on to our last character, it's gonna be... And lastly, it is Helm
Dark
Gorst.
magic is mine to command.
As I said before, they are the easiest campaign over there. Helm Gorst is the easiest in battle. Now, it's not as easy as all things are. He's easiest in battle because you have to play 80% of his battles anyways, because what you buff is gonna have shit out to resolve. So what is Helm Gorst's thing? First of all, technologies, as normal, my friend. And this is the only case I would say do not go with this. You have to go with this. Just rush Master of the Putrid Horde. Why? Well, you need to upgrade all your zombies as much as possible, because that's the unit you buff. You know, physical resistance amazing, and more rest time, or more rest, and Vanguard deployment for them is not what you're gonna look for, but yeah. He also buff a little bit of ghouls and equipped horse at the moment, which is fine. Because the thing is with Helman Gorst is that if you go to character detail, also I hate that his hood is glitched out. Is this. Okay, whatever. A little speed for the whole army. Oh, zombies get 12 melee attack. Oh, that's good, and he himself gets it. 10% more safe. Okay, that's decent on zombies as well. 40 or 30% resistance to all damage against anything physical. That's good. Oh, is that value healing for all of them for 500? Why do they need healing? I mean, you heal a little bit with regeneration and stuff with your armies. Oh, what's this? A healing, passive healing and melee for all your zombies? Yeah, and 50% just buff on them. So this is why it's important, is that you don't buff them by spells that much, besides maybe an invocation of the heck. Curse of Undeath is gonna heal them passively, maybe a Van Hals. But the thing is, you're gonna blob up against 80% of the armies, unless they have like big artillery or big shooting units. It's just gonna annoy you. And you're just gonna get this upgraded full to give them, well, way better stats, and then you're gonna get the Legion of Dread. And then, of course, you will be getting this. You can give them more melee defense. So yeah, they're just gonna... In the end, I have tried this. A zombie unit that is fully upgraded can duel a Sun Dragon 1-on-1. That is how strong you will make them, because you will have units like Helman Gorst or just corpse carts, or even like necromancers to just heal them over and over again. The also thing is, well, you got more research rates, you're gonna get a raised dead cost. So yeah, you're gonna go with Necrarch first. Just getting this. It's gonna be insane. Necrarch, you just go fully on that line. So you're just gonna buff up the zombies, blob up, don't care. Oh, what's that? Your corpse cards get to summon an additional zombie for free? They didn't do that before. Yeah, that's true, because they didn't. Now some people like to actually, because they don't get the Strigoi things at all, they like to go over here to give them the hunger and so on and so forth. That's fine if you want to do that. It's not going to be as powerful, but hey, it is something if you want to go with the full-on Strigoi stuff. Your stuff here, increase zombies. It's not bad to just go with another Master Necromancer army here to recruit more zombies. You're gonna fight Skaven, doesn't matter. They're not gonna be strong. The only threat here is gonna be Kugaf, because he's a living artillery piece, and then anything up here. Well, most of your enemies are scary, and they have something for you. Kugaf is an artillery piece that will wreck you if you blob up too much. Okay, so Kugaf, we actually cannot play that strategy. You have to do a little bit more, unless you want to do other cheeky things. Which, if you want cheeky things, just bait shots with like your hero, because he's gonna get a horse. Just bait the shots and then just abuse him. Cafe is gonna have artillery and such. Okay, that's not fun again, but once again you will able to recruit 8 armies of zombies, and what are they gonna do in the end when they all have these buffs? Then you are going to have ogres. Ogres is the only scary thing, because everything is large, and second of all, everything, or not everything, but they can have the Butcher of Beast that can throw Flock of Doom 24/7 at you, which is gonna make you cry a little. But it's fine. Then you're gonna have some Chaos Dwarves, Imrik, so a lot of fire stuff on you here as well. Grimgor later on, but as I said, when you go to late game you do not care, you just have too much healing anyways going on for your zombies, and so on and so forth. So he's just the easiest in battle, because you can just clump up, kill everything without any issues, while even, yeah, that's all. Like, you just win by bobbing up and not caring if it's ranged artillery. You just oopsie poopsie, I have 1 or 2 wolves, they just deal with it, or bats or something, and Even if that's the case, oh, I have one Hell Rocket battery, what you gonna do? Oh, well, I have 8 zombie stacks. Let me just spread them out and just sacrifice 3 zombies for that whole ammunition for them. And now I'll just blob up and abuse the AI again. That's basically how you play Hemlock Gorse. There's not much I can tell you, besides take your starting province, deal with Kugaf as soon as possible with like 3 armies of zombies. Then afterwards it's gonna be Greases, they're gonna go after you, so you have to deal with him. After that it's gonna be either Cafe or it's gonna be things over here as well. So yeah, you just have to prepare, there might be a 2-wave war in the end. But yeah, that's literally him. That's all. I hope this is very helpful and helps you anyways. I will do probably next video as greenskins, because I'm gonna go through all Warhammer 1 factions, then Warhammer 2, Warhammer 3. Why am I doing this way? Because, yeah, Norska, I'm gonna wait with, and so on and so forth until the new Legendary Lord is out, which should be in a month or 2. We'll see. But yeah, I wish you all a good day. I hope you all have a good night as well if you're watching this at night. Sweet dreams and so on and so forth, I guess. See you all in the next one.